Hello and welcome. This is AMECO English service and you're watching our daily updates live from the studio. I'm Gaila Damu. Stay with us. France's ambassador to Ethiopia, Remy Marcos, said France is committed to supporting the reconstruction and rehabilitation efforts of conflict-affected areas in northern Ethiopia. Ababa Burhani reports.
In an exclusive interview with Ethiopian news agency, France's ambassador to Ethiopia, Remy Marcos, said that his country has been engaged in Franco-Ethiopian projects and strong cooperation with Ethiopia that is essentially centered on fraternity between the countries. Welcoming the peace agreement signed by the government of Ethiopia and the TPLF, the ambassador added that France has been making strong political support across the EU and through the United Nations Security Council for Ethiopia. According to him, the implementation of the peace agreement would contribute to further strengthening the Ethio-French cooperation in various fields. Ambassador Marcos said that the implementation of the agreement would facilitate the conclusion of a new program that will allow reliving the public debt of the country and strengthening cooperation. Moreover, it would create favorable conditions for French investors to enter Ethiopia. He further stated that France has been working in rehabilitation, provision of medical supplies, strengthening food security and repairing of electric power and infrastructure. Ambassador Marcos said that France is also ready to support the transformation and renovation of tourist sites in Ethiopia, adding that cultural relationship has been the priority since the beginning of the diplomatic ties between the two countries 125 years ago.
Investment Commissioner Lily Sename said there are indications that the flow of foreign direct investment to Ethiopia, which has been on the increase despite the conflict in the north and COVID-19, would benefit from the recent peace deal. Fukardi Zaudu tells us more.
In an exclusive interview with Ethiopian news agency, the commissioner stated that foreign direct investment flow has been growing mainly because the government made various policy changes and reforms. According to her, previously foreign investors could only invest in restricted sectors, but now the flow of foreign investors has increased due to the reform. She said, adding that the new policy of opening up for foreign investment is part of the government's economic reform to liberalize state-controlled sectors. In line with this, the government granted a license to a private telecom operator last year to break the monopoly of the state-owned Ethio Telecom, which is one of the economy's most lucrative sectors. Lalise said the biggest achievement was the opening of the telecom sector, and it indicates that Ethiopia is opening up to the private sector and committed to supporting them. Following this, the government also recently opened up the finance sector, which she pointed out is of great importance in overcoming the shortage of foreign exchange. The commissioner also said that the government has formulated various aftercare strategies to help foreign investors from the beginning to the end of the process. She stated that aftercare team technical committee of experts have been established to respond to the demands of investors immediately. Apart from this, the commitment of the government to helping and supporting foreign investors has contributed greatly, and foreign direct investment is improving in terms of the existing situation. Therewithal, the recent peace agreement signed between the federal government and TPLF has encouraged foreign investors that have already started inquiring about potential areas of investment.
Immediately,
After this agreement was signed, many investors have been making inquiries. Investors who did not come due to COVID-19 and conflict in the northern part of the country are coming in large numbers. The commissioner noted that peace is of course a great foundation for attracting foreign direct investment to a country. This is a great opportunity. We should all take advantage of exist and need to provide the necessary services. It was learned that efforts are being made to enable investors to enter industrial parks, and different arrangements are being made in various regions to attract investors. The Ethiopian government has outlined 5 priority investment areas, namely agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, information communication technology, and mining. The commissioner added that project-based investment attraction is also being done for investors who invest in health, logistics, and energy sectors, which should be seen as alternative investments. The Ethiopian Investment Commission is also developing procedures that are free from human touch.
According to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, United Nations Economic Commission for Africa and Ministry of Innovation of Ethiopia will host the Global Internet Governance Forum on December 28, 2022 in Addis Ababa. Burhan Workana has the details.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs AMECO met with Acting Executive Secretary of United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Antonio Pedro, on the margins of African Union Extraordinary Summit in Niamey, Niger. During the discussion, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs AMECO welcomed the invitation and agreed to support the forum. Acting Executive Secretary of United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Antonio Pedro, said on his part, United Nations Economic Commission for Africa and Ministry of Innovation of Ethiopia will host Global Internet Governance Forum in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. He also underscored the forum will provide an opportunity to showcase Ethiopia's best experience of advancing digitalization to other stakeholders and called for higher representation. The Internet Governance Forum is a global multi-stakeholder platform that facilitates the discussion of public policy issues pertaining to the Internet. At their annual meeting, delegates discuss, exchange information, and share good practices with each other. The Internet Governance Forum facilitates a common understanding of how to maximize Internet opportunities and address risks and challenges that arise.
An international aquatic biodiversity researcher team was stressed the need to tap the vast potential of fishery resources in Omo River in Lake Turkana. Modo Mulier tells us more.
Universities from Canada, USA, Kenya, and Ethiopia are working to establish Omo Turkana Biodiversity Research Center in order to tap the vast potential of fishery resources in Omo River and Lake Turkana. It's learned that the aquatic biodiversity researchers team has undertaken a field trip in Ethiopia to unleash the potential. Members of the team told Ethiopian news agency that efforts must be exerted to adequately tap the resources in Omo River and Turkana Lake to enhance economic development beyond ensuring food security. The Kenyan biodiversity researcher and team leader of the advisory group for Lake Turkana, Kevin Obiro, said Ethiopia is immensely endowed with natural resources.
That is really a potential area. We have a lot of communities that are benefiting from the fisheries, so we want to ensure that we partner so that this resource can be able to benefit the communities. At the same time, how can we come up with better management strategies that can benefit and sustain this resource for the future?
Particularly, he noted that the enormous fishery resources available in Omo River and Lake Turkana could be used as crucial instrument to help the nation ensure food security and strengthen revenue. In this regard, the researcher underlined that the establishment of the Omo Turkana Biodiversity Research Center in the Omo Rift Valley will provide significant contribution. Canadian International Biodiversity Research Center Director General Matthew McCandless on his part said the establishment of a joint research team comprising international researchers will help to strengthen experience-sharing activities vital to developing the resources.
This is our first visit, but there are, of course, scientists who have been working on Lake Turkana in Ethiopia and in Kenya for a long time, and part of this is to bring the scientific knowledge together. The climate is changing. What does that mean for the fish in this lake? Understanding this will help devise strategies for the government and for the villages as they adapt.
He stressed the need to develop strategies and policies with a view to curbing the growing threats of climate change in the habitats of seas. Ethiopia's Jinkai University President Kusi Gudish said the university is carrying out activities with a view to becoming center of excellence in agro-industry, fishery and biodiversity. In this regard, he added the establishment of the center will be additional capacity to the ongoing efforts of the university.
Omo River is a huge potential. Lake Turkana is a huge potential. You can see vast areas for agriculture nearby those water bodies. The new way of supporting our community to elevate our people from the poverty, it is the priority of those universities to make a meaningful research. Meaningful means it's not for the sake of just for an academician to conduct a research, but making a research and then helping our community out of their problems.
Noting the huge resources at Omo River and Lake Turkana, Kusi stressed the need to intensify research activities and exploit the available resources for economic development.
You're watching AMECO Haber English service, and now let's proceed to news beyond borders. Nigerian students in higher institutions of learning will be able to gain more access to financial assistance after a student loan bill was cleared by both houses of Nigeria's parliament. The bill, sponsored by House of Representatives leader Femi Bajabiamila, called the Students' Loan Bill, will enable students to have access to interest-free loans. Under the plan, a Nigerian education bank will be established to supervise, coordinate, administer, and monitor the management of student loans. And applicants will be screened to ensure that all requirements for granting the loan under the bill are satisfied, as CGTN Africa reported. As Uganda continues to battle one of its worst outbreaks of Ebola, it might seem like Christmas is coming early for students in Uganda, as millions of them head home early for the school holidays on Friday. Yet the decision to close schools nationwide 2 weeks before the end of term has been taken to curb the spread of Ebola. It is also at odds with the government's official stance that everything is under control. In the past 2 months, 55 people have died with the virus, and there were 22 probable Ebola diseases before the outbreak was officially declared on 20 September. Some experts have expressed their reservation about the school shutdowns, arguing that keeping pupils contained for another 2 weeks would be a better way to halt the spread of the deadly disease, given the incubation period can last from 2 days to 3 weeks, as BBC reported. The World Anti-Doping Agency Athletics Integrity Unit and World Athletics are set to meet on Friday in Monte Carlo to review the state of doping around the world, with the deteriorating Kenya doping situation high on the agenda. Abebe Brahani presents CGTN Africa report.
Kenya has remained in category of A of countries with the highest prevalence of doping since 2017, despite efforts made by the government and the Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, established in 2016. The World Anti-Doping Agency, Athletics Integrity Unit and World Athletics are due to take actions after the worst year Kenya has experienced since the doping crisis in Eastern African country came to light in 2015. So far in 2022, 45 athletes have been sanctioned for anti-doping rule violations by the Athletics Integrity Unit and Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, while another 20 other cases are under review. On Thursday, the country's Cabinet Secretary for Sport, Ababuna Mwamba, released a press statement assuring the government was taking stern measures to protect and uphold the integrity of athletics and sports in general. He said that they cannot allow their nation to be banned because of actions of some greedy, unethical individuals. In the statement, Namwamba said they will target and deal decisively with the criminals and their syndicates, and they must work together to eradicate doping and cheating from athletics and sports in general. The minister is reported to have written to World Athletics President Lord Sebastian Coe on Wednesday, pledging the government will spend $5 million per year for the next 5 years towards eradicating doping. Also, Kenya's situation is different from the state-sponsored doping that has seen Russia expelled from international athletics events since 2018. World Athletics Doping Agency, Athletics Integrity Unity and World Athletics feel that enough has not been done to stem the rising cases. Officials familiar with the situation tell CGTN that Kenya is likely to get a 3-year ban. Among the requirements is the arrest and prosecution of those accused of running the doping ring in the country, including unscrupulous agents, managers and medics from within and outside Kenya who are fueling what is an illegal industry.
This is AMECO Heber English Service, and now let's take a look at the foreign exchange rate. That's all the news we have for today. I am Gaila Damu. Thanks for watching and stay tuned with the rest of our programs.